Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Nia Gibson. And before I introduce our guest, thank you so much for tuning in. We have a really incredible conversation coming up. As you guys know, the entire structure of the BU meets have changed, where we're going to have like this really epic window of just the most exciting races back to back to back to back. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Coach Jon Molz. He is the head coach of cross country and assistant track and field coach at Boston University, as well as the meet director behind all the prestigious events hosted on what many call the fastest indoor track in the country. Welcome, Coach.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here. I think we should just get right into it. I do go on the intro. Are we good with that? Did I miss anything? Oh,
No,
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 no, no.
that's perfect. You nailed it.
Okay, perfect. Scared me there a little bit. I was like, oh my God, did I lose him? But let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, last indoor season was pretty unbelievable. Collegiate records, all time performances, of course, Grant Fisher's indoor 5K world record. Before we talk about the new changes, did you feel a sense of pride seeing such an exciting and historic season unfold at BU?
Absolutely. And it was my first year at BU as well, so it was the first time getting to experience things from behind the scenes, and to culminate with a world record was incredible. The atmosphere, the environment, everything was great. We take tremendous pride in what we do here. We know people are paying a lot of money and traveling from all over the country and world to be here. So we do our absolute best to put on the best meets that we can. And so when you see all these national records, collegiate records, a world record set on the track, it absolutely brings that sense of accomplishment. And so it was great to be part of.
Did you feel like your presence was felt as all these things were happening at BU?
I hope so. I mean, we try to keep things on time, and if the race is supposed to start at a certain time, we want it to start at that time so that the athletes have the best opportunities to run fast. So hopefully people realized and saw that it was well organized. We're responsive ahead of time to try and accommodate people's uh, wishes, and then on meet day we run an efficient, albeit long day, but efficient. We've got great timers, great helpers, and we keep things running smoothly. So hopefully, the hard work that certainly not just from me, but from our entire staff here and our support staff, hopefully that's felt.
Oh, 100%. I was at a number of those races working there on behalf of FloTrack, and it was one of those things where there was just this energy that exuded throughout the room. And especially like Grant Fisher in particular was a time that really stuck out to me. You felt every single one of those laps, everybody got more and more on their feet, then on their toes, then the octaves in their voices just raised, and the excitement was just all over the place. I don't think I've ever felt like that for an indoor 5K ever. And mind you, prior to that, I was at the Milrose Games. So it was just like the week prior, 7 days prior, actually, as a
Right.
matter of fact. So kudos. But let's talk about some updates, right? This year introduces an elite window designed to give fans, both in person and watching from home, a seamless lineup of high level races. How did this idea come about and why now?
Well, I think the idea has been in the community for years. I mean, Boston's always put on some of the best meets in the country and even in the world. I think we had a few ranked in the top 20 in the world last
Mm-hmm.
year. Um, but I think for a few years, people have been, if there's one complaint, maybe among a few, but if there's one, it might be that the days are really long and they're drawn out. And for instance, the difference between the first heat of the women's 5K and the first heat of the men's 5K is about 2.5 hours apart. And it's probably another 2.5 hours from the 3K fast heat and so on and so forth. And so a few people in the community had thought about it when I arrived here. That's something that was certainly on my mind, having been a prior participant. Can we streamline things? And then FlowTrack pushing it pretty hard as well. It's a great idea, and I'm excited to see it pay off, especially for the viewership at home for the people that can't be here. I think that'll be fantastic to be able to log in and see the best races back to back. And then for people that are going to come in the doors and buy a ticket here, that gives them a 90-minute window of the best action that they're going to find anywhere in the world on Saturday.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Every time we talk about it, I'm trying to see how I can keep it professional because I'll be sidelines reporting for you guys. So I'll make sure to keep it cute for the broadcast, but I'm going to be jumping up and down otherwise whenever the camera's not on us. But
Oh yeah.
I would love to know what your overall hope is for these new changes and what you hope to bring just to the meet experience.
Well, I think just streamlining things to have, again, a 90-minute experience where people can come in and know that they're about to witness some of the best distance racing, certainly in the NCAA, but also occasionally at the world level. And I think the environment here at BU is already the best in the country, quite honestly. But I can't imagine what it's going to be like at this meet and the Terrier Classic and the Valentine Invitational when we really get it going for that 60 to 90 minutes of just back to back to back insanity with how fast these guys and girls are running these days. I can't wait to see it happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, and I'll just leave it at same. But I would love to know, like, if we were to check in with you, right, at the end of the season, what would a successful season look like in your eyes, given all the new updates?
I think the a couple main measures of success that I look at when running these meets, do we stick to the time schedule? Again, I know that might be a boring one, but that's really important for the athletes and the coaches to, and I don't want to jinx it for this year, but that's really important that events are starting when they're supposed to start so that the athletes have the best opportunities. And then, as I can't keep track of this stat, but I want as many people as possible setting personal bests on our track, whether you're in these elite window heats or if you're in heat 10 of the 5K or heat 25 of the mile at the Valentine invite, hoping that every athlete that competes here um, accomplishes something great and enjoys their time here. And when they graduate and talk to friends or people they meet down the road, say, oh yeah, I competed at BU. Those meets were crazy, but that's where my PRs were set and they were awesome. We loved going there.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And there has to be a way. It would take a lot. I think we need some manpower, some resources, but at some point it would be nice to see in comparison to maybe other meets how many personal bests are logged here. And then just tie it in to make it just as important, maybe not just as important, but like in that same bracket of like these all-time marks that are made because it being the fastest indoor track in the country, I think it would yield results. But
Oh yeah.
from that, I would love to know what has your long term vision been for BU just as an indoor track venue?
Oh, to continue putting these meets on, it's like I said, I've only been here a year, so I'm learning the process as I go a little bit. Just got kind of put right into it. So long-term goals to continue putting on the best collegiate meets possible, and then there's endless amounts of things that we can do in the future, but it takes money and time and resource to do some things. But um, right now, I think this is a great first step in terms of um, enhancing, upgrading the meets that we do here is just to put together some elite windows and make it really viewer friendly and fan friendly. So for now, I'm going to be happy for this year with step one, and then we'll see where we go from here.
What do you think sets BU's track apart from other top facilities such as the Armory or like the track at New Balance?
Well, those are awesome facilities. Having been there in the past, uh, for me, the environment I think is unparalleled. It's unmatched. From going to meets for almost 20 years of coaching now, um, like you said, when you're in the building for Grant Fisher's world record, I mean that's as loud as being at a concert. It's the energy is through the roof, and people talk about is the track short? It's not. Uh, it might be a little bit bouncier or faster than some tracks. I don't know the specifications of when it was built or why that is from a science perspective, but I do know from an atmosphere perspective, there's nothing that matches it. And then something that I tell our team here at BU all the time is that when people are coming to our home meets, they're getting on the plane or they're getting on the bus with one thing in their mind, and that's to run fast. You know, we compete every week from January through May, and some meets you circle and you say, this is where I want to go and rip. And there's other meets where it's almost sometimes it's just a task. I got to get on the bus, go race at this smaller venue, see what happens. When people come to BU, they're walking through these doors with the intent to run fast, and so it becomes contagious. And I think that's really important part of why people run so fast here. It's a psychological uh, piece, and it's just I'm coming here to do something, and I'm going to do it. And so I think that sets us apart too. It's very easy to be excited about flying into Boston, spending a few nights in an amazing city, and having a chance to run on this track.
Coach, I want to get a little personal real quick. You've been obviously super instrumental in all these innovations. Why are you the right person to help lead this?
Oh, good question, I guess. I, I would say that I have pretty good efficiency. I'm pretty quick to think on my feet on meet day. I have a lot of great experience, great mentors in the past that have helped me learn how to put on good events. I've been involved in hosting small meets, in conference championships, had a hand in helping uh, with the USA Cross Country Championships a couple times in Richmond, Virginia, with Steve Taylor, who's the coach down there, and I've learned from him and others how to put on uh, great competitions and how to remember the important things. And the important thing is not to be driven by, I don't know, maybe the ego that can come with this
Mm.
and getting to know people and doing favors for people so that they remember you. That stuff I really don't, it doesn't factor into anything I do here. I'm trying to put on the best meets possible for this weekend. I think we have 1,200 athletes coming through the door, and so I'm pretty good at keeping perspective of why I'm tasked with this and why we. It's not just I, but why we are tasked with this. And again, it's to put on the best meet possible. And so I think maybe I just have a good perspective of what my job is here.
From the events that you just mentioned, do you have like a core memory where maybe something happened or something transpired and you're like, okay, from this I have this learning lesson and maybe implement it in just like the meets you've put on and be like, this is why these are so successful?
Hmm. I think just the ability to, again, we've got to think on our feet here,
Yeah.
especially when we're trying to run such a tight time schedule. For this, I think this meet goes for 11 hours on Saturday, and Valentine and Terrier, those go about 12 hours on back-to-back days. I can't think of a specific time where a light bulb went off. It's more of the light bulb is just remembering that we have to be on our game from the start of the day to the finish of the day with no lagging, and that it includes everything, and it includes making sure that there's a camera set up at the 1,500-meter mark and that people aren't getting in the way of it during races, to moving hurdles, to putting up padding for the sprint events, to taking it down, moving blocks across the track. Uh, so again, I'm not sure there was a light bulb moment in the first year where there's a huge learning lesson. I think it was just continually learning throughout the season and making sure, okay, I've got to remember that for next time.
Definitely makes sense. How do you balance this with coaching though? You're coaching at a Division 1 level. You're putting on these great meets. How does balance look for you, Coach?
It's difficult at times. Uh, First, I have an amazing support staff here again, and I don't want to leave people out, but um, our facilities management is fantastic here. We've got volunteers in place. Our team members help out with tasks. Our timers are fantastic. They're responsive to me throughout the week, even though they're timing at other events. I feel like we are the top priority, which I always appreciate. I can call them, text them, email them, they get right back to me. So there's tons of people that are helping negotiate the things such as finding the best officials and then the officials coming here and doing a great job to, again, timing to volunteers, things like that. We have the best clerk that I've ever worked with. And so all these support staff is great. I've got a couple coaches on staff here that really have a big hand in this. Christian Noble is a huge help when it comes to things like finding pacemakers and talking with coaches and elite athletes to find out what their intent is and how we can help them accomplish their goals. So I do have a lot of help in terms of putting the meet on, but it's a long few weeks during the middle of the season. And again, I think that's where being efficient and organized really comes in handy. And then I think that the team here, I've been really fortunate to have a men's and women's teams here that they kind of know this is part of it. And um, we learned to be certainly not self-sufficient because I just told them this morning my priority is coaching the team no matter how busy we get and matter how busy we seem. But I think the team is also really mature and understanding that there's just a couple busy weeks here, but we can still get the job done, and they do.
Amazing. They say it takes a village, right?
Exactly, it does.
It takes a village. All right, Coach, before I let you go, obviously, big weekend coming up, right? What are you excited about to kick off this season, the BU opener? What are
I'm
you most
excited
excited
for the
about?
the first pull of the trigger for the races on Saturday morning, and just to remember why we're doing this. Well, honestly, I'm excited about Friday. People coming in for pre-race and even picking up their packets and just seeing the energy walk into the building. I mean, it's noticeable even the day before. But of course, the thing I'm most excited about is seeing how this elite window goes and seeing what happens in this 90 minutes. You know, see if we can get another NCAA record or maybe more in this men's 600 meters. We're pretty pumped about it all. So I'm just looking forward to getting it going.
Listen, I think for me, spoiler alert, it's going to be epic, especially with the type of lineup there is, especially with this 90-minute window, especially with the fact that it's just on BU's track, which we have already described as electric. Okay, Coach, I will let you go. And thank you so much for joining me. I will see you December 6th. And for everyone that is tuned in and tuned into this conversation, you can catch FloTrack streaming this live December 6th, the BU opener. We will be kicking off the indoor season. See you there.